911, what's your emergency?
Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight.
Okay, so hi, my name is Jessie. Welcome back to my channel, and today I will be reviewing the music video titled American Oxygen by Rihanna. Okay, so let's jump right into it. So this music video was released on August 14 in 2015, and the duration of this music video is around 5 minutes and 20 minutes. Ephesians 6:12 says, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places." Okay, so American Oxygen is performed by Rihanna Robin Fenty, and also known as Bad Gal Riri on Instagram. This music was inspired by Born in the USA, which was performed by Bruce Springsteen from 1884. Well, I think it's mostly 1984. Through Rock Nation was released in 2015, although recorded in 2014. So it was produced by Alex the Kid and Kanye West, whom also contributed to the writing, alongside with Candice Pillay and Sam Harris. So notice here, the image that is chosen, it's like having your left hand, your left arm up. Okay, so Born in the USA, I just want to bring this song since it's heavily inspired by it. So notice here on the cover, so there's the American flag in the back. He's wearing a jean, a t-shirt, white t-shirt, very basic, just like Rihanna in the music video. She has a jean on, a white top, and then she also has a leather jacket. Then he also has his left arm up, just like Rihanna. Yeah, he also has a guitar. Okay, the guitar is very important. Also, the pose is really dynamic, you know. Okay, so the verse one goes like this. "So born down in a dead man's town. The first kick I took when I hit the ground." And that reminds me of Luke 10:18, when Satan was held down, was cast out from heaven, and he came down with 1/3 of the angel, which today are fallen angels, in other words, demons. "End up like a dog that's been beat up too much, till you spend half your life just covering up now." Covering. So is it like covering, or is it covering your face? Okay. Identity will be a very important topic in this video. So the chorus goes like this: "Born in the USA, I was born in the USA. I was born in the USA, born in the USA now." And I also just want to mention, so this single was released via Studio Power Station in New York, and also Columbia label. And if you know one thing about Columbia, it's a system. It's more than music, okay? It's a system. Think of CBS. Okay, so what about the artist who performed American Oxygen? So Rihanna Robin Fenty was born on February 20 in 1988 in St. Michael in Barbados. In Arabic, Rihanna means sweet scent in Irish, and great queen in Arabic. Oh, in Irish it means sweet scent. Okay. Fenty is a slang for fentanyl. Robin means bright fame or bright famous one in German. So Rihanna signed her first record deal at 3 a.m. in a hotel room at only 16 years old back in Barbados. Her first contract was with Rock Nation, an entertainment company, in 2005, and at this time it was founded and led by her peer Jay-Z in New York. Also signed to label Def Jam, which has for parent company Universal Music Group, UMG in other words, and her fans, she called them the Navy. So Rihanna in total has 8 studio albums. I know it's a controversy today because we often see when she goes to the red carpet, people ask her for the album, but she has made 8 albums in total. And I do have a course or a web series titled Babylon in Hidden Sight, where I discuss the symbology, the symbolism behind the number 8. This course is available on my website, jcemilboutique.com.
I wanna see you. I wanna see you.
And this one is part of the structure of creation, and it has to do with eternity. Okay, so let's make a quick tour of her album. So she has Music of the Suns, where she gives glory to her god, Ramfan, the star of Ramfan in the Bible. So the hit in this album was Pon the Replay. Ooh, Mr. Jesus, Pon the Replay. Da, da, da. Okay, and I remember Music of the Sun, I think the music video was shot on the beach. Okay, there's always a beach scene. Anyway, so then the second album, A Girl Like Me, which was published on April 2006 by Def Jam. One of the hits was SOS Please. Then Unfaithful, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be the that's okay. And na 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 your girl. Is it in this album? I can't remember. Anyway, and then moving on to her third album, which is, oh my god, Good Girl Gone Bad. Okay, I did a mistake here. Good Girl Gone Bad. Wait. And this album was released in 2000 on May 31st in 2007. And one of the hits of this album was Umbrella, Under My Umbrella, Ella with Jay-Z, of course. And then she had, of course, the song Good Girl Gone Bad. And then we have the fourth album, which is titled Rated R. And this was released in November 20th in 2009. I don't know much of the songs of this album. Yeah, I'm a Rude Boy. Yeah, I remember. And then Russian Roulette, which is kind of, I mean, this was the moment I should have realized that there is something wrong. Anyway, so fifth album, the album is Loud, which was released on November 12 in 2010. And one of the hit of this album was Oh Nana, What's My Name, with her co-artist, Drake. And also Love the Way You Lie, I remember. Okay. Then her sixth album, which is titled Talk That Talk, and which was released on November 18 in 2011. So You the One, na, 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 this was a hit. I remember also We Found Love in a Hopeless Place, which was promoting drugs. Then Talk That Talk, Birthday Cake, Cake, I Know That You Like It. Drunk on Love, which reminds me of Drunk in Love, but I don't know that song in this album. But anyway, so moving on to the seventh music album. And this is Unapologetic. So see the cover, she has her boobs uncovered. And in this album, the hit was Diamond. We're like diamonds in the sky. Also, she has Pour It Up, which was a hit. Then she had, yeah, I think it's pretty much it. Yeah, Right Now and What Now, and then Stay. This was a hit. I Want You to Stay. So the final album, the 8th studio album, the last one, it was released on January 28th in 2016. I believe when Obama was in office. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. And in this album, one of the hits were Kiss It Better, Work, of course, Work with her peer Drake once again. And then she had the Needed Me. I don't think it was that much of a hit, but Love on the Brain was. Must be love on the brain. Yeah. So if you're not familiar, if you don't know this, okay, let me tell you something. The world is run by numbers. Sometimes we see letters, we see titles, but all this, like first studio album, second, these are there's gematria behind. There's a communication that is being said, and if you have purchased the course that where I teach structure of creation based on Genesis, and I combine the numbers, the figures, what they mean. So I think that will be a good training for you to understand a little more about the visual world, or imagery and sound. Okay, so I thought it was interesting to bring this interview that she had with Interview Magazine. And in this interview in particular, it was done in 2012, on June 2012. And it was, it was about her upcoming. And she said, so one of the questions, have you always been a person of real faith? Okay, this was after she released her 8th studio album, which is titled Anti, for maybe Antichrist. What do you think? Okay, and then she replied, I've always been. My first time praying and fasting was when I was 7 years old. And 7, there's a meaning behind it. It's not just the figure 7. It's deeper than that. Just like creation, day 1, day 2. Okay. Okay, so I did that on my own because I wanted to go to New York, and I knew that this was a sacrifice I had to make in order for God to make sure I could get there. And I think it's interesting how God is with a minimal G. But not only that, New York was always the goal. So it seems like New York was the dream for Rihanna. And here, this video is all about the Black power, okay? And I just want to bring context here. We are not talking about Rihanna per se. We are talking about the image of Rihanna, the persona. We are talking about the energy, the power behind the face of Rihanna, behind the Black face, okay? What's behind this face that we are seeing, okay? That's really the context of this video. So if you are interested, keep on watching.
It feels so good to be loved by you.
Okay, so the music video, okay, starts like this. So all you see is the scene with this monument in the back, okay? And then you see, of course, the US flag. And then you see all these Black silhouettes, okay, that go across, that passes. All these Black silhouettes, you see no face, only the shapes. And you kind of wonder, is that a projection? Am I looking at a projection? Is it like real people walking? Is there a light in the back that, you know, reflects there? Or am I looking at spirits? Okay, so that is a very interesting question. Since, remember, in the beginning when God established the light, when you establish the light, what happens? Then you see the shadows, you see the darkness for what it is. And you see also sometimes a separation, okay? Because where there is light, shadow cannot exist. But where there is like ombrage, when you have like a umbrella, or okay, then you'll see the shadows, the shapes starting to form, okay? And this is all things that I explain in my course, Babylon in Hidden Sight, Structure of Creation. Okay, so let's continue. So it reminded me, okay, the reference that I couldn't stop but think of the shadows that even Prince used during the halftime when he performed at the Super Bowl in 2007, okay? So see the shadows, and also the guitar that comes back, just like Bruce Springsteen, okay? Then you see once again, Prince is known for the guitar, and then you have the people praising. So it's like you see these concerts looks like a praising moment, a worship moment. Okay, so then also that reminded me, you know, this new fashion where you see they're all wearing masks and they kind of look like shadows, or who has clothes on, okay? So Kanye West doing an interview with Alex Jones on December 1st in 2022. So World War III, okay? WWW, the domain, internet domain, World War III. let's talk about it. So this article reads like this: Kanye West praised Adolf Hitler and unleashed an anti-Semitic diatribe while wearing a black hood that covered his face and head during a bizarre appearance with InfoWars host and conspiracy theorist Alex Jones on Thursday. And if you know, Thursday means the day of Thor, okay, the day that Thor's days, since the days are named after the Roman gods. Okay, so even the Thursday, pay attention to it. I see good things about Hitler. Also, the rapper who changed his legal name to Ye told Jones on Thursday, every human being has value that they brought to the table, especially Hitler. I was thinking about Satan. Ye continued. Whether it's the Zionist or Hitler, it's not the person, it's Satan using the people who are controlled by demonic forces. Ye elaborated, telling Jones, the Jewish media has made us feel like the Nazis and Hitler have never offered anything of value to the world. So I think it's interesting that the subject of Jewish is being brought up, because we know that when God established the light, the real war is about the kingdom of light and the kingdom of darkness. So are we talking about being black, or are we talking about the kingdom of darkness, which is completely different, okay? Black is not truly a color to begin with. Okay, so let's continue. So we see then the mask or the shadows once again. Here, Demna and Kanye West for Balenciaga. And on the right, you have Demna and Doja Cat once again in 2022. And I thought it was interesting during that moment because Demna is the director for Balenciaga, I believe. So he said, Demna said, la mode, elle efface l'identité justement. So he was saying that fashion erased your identity. And then he said that l'argent est le fétiche le plus pervers qui existe. So money is one of the most perverse fetish that exists today, okay? And I think it's interesting here because what are we looking at? So, you know, you have the shadows, okay? Then you have the shadows in person. It's like it's physical. Then you have it in this way with it looks like a roaring lion. I don't know exactly. Yeah. And then you have, you're wondering, is Demna wearing a mask? Is it like Demna? Like you're not sure, like what are you looking at, you know? And especially here you have, one thing that I want to mention here is that Kanye West during the fashion show, I think it was a 360 fashion show for Balenciaga, he said, the one day I don't have a mask. So the question would be, okay, well, the day Kanye has a mask, like, are we talking about these masks or are we talking about also latex mask? And you'll understand why am I asking these questions. Yeah, 28 years old, Doja Cat at a party after the Met Gala on May 6th, okay, in New York City. So you see Demna and this man, I don't know who this man is. Then you see she has her boobs out, okay? And I'll make the connection later. We're talking about Black power here. And then Balenciaga, I just want to mention, most people don't know, but Balenciaga means Baal is king, okay? So we're talking about the kingdom of darkness. Okay, so then you have Doja Cat wearing, once again, a new like style, and she's with Demna, and they wanted to mention that this photo was taken on a Friday, okay? And Freya is once again a Roman god in New York for a McDonald's meal. So it's not just simple like places, okay? The fact that they're mentioning these places and these numbers, there's a meaning behind. And 47th Street. And then once again, you have Demna, okay? And what's ironic is that, you know, you see Kim, you recognize her because of her silhouette, because of the shape, which goes back to the first photo American Oxygen started with, okay? With the shadows in front of this building. And even the building, it's written City Hall. And see the face here? It looks like a Versace face. It looks like a Roman god, you know? So once again, this is Demna and Kim, but I would say this could be also Kanye West. We don't know. or maybe Kanye West and Demna have like a role, I don't know. And then here you have her. This was during the Met Gala in New York. So New York, very a key place. Then you have once again the mask here, the shadow. So you have the children in the back. Then you have a shadow in person. So see, in the building, it was like a projection. But here in these photos, it's like the silhouettes looks real. It's like they have a body now, you know. And also Balenciaga, Bahal. We're still talking about Balenciaga, you know. And Baal, he's known for, well, people would sell their children or offer their children to Baal, to these demons. So see the 3 children in the back. Okay, so this is really symbolism. It's symbology, I should say. And then you have Kim all in black holding North. Then you have also once again this Balenciaga mask. Once again Balenciaga, this is more of a letter. And also I think there's a beauty mask that looks like this that is good for skin. Then once again you have the Jesus mask. Okay, tour, Kanye West with the mask. And see, he looks like a prisoner, to be honest. Okay, so all black, so the shadows again are referenced. Then you see once again the shadows. So 47 years old Kanye West and 29 years old Bianca. I think these are like weird descriptions. So they're described by their age in some sense. Then once again, you have Kanye West and Bianca at the Grammy Awards in Los Angeles in 2025. See, it looks like, well, I feel like this looks like a mask. Who said, I don't know. It looks like a mask. I'm just wondering, what am I looking at? And especially this woman looks exactly like Kim Kardashian. So is that a clone? Is that a robot? She's the same height, same face, you know? So what are we looking at? And I thought these imageries were interesting because it tied to this painter, this famous painter known as Jean-Michel Basquiat, okay? And Andy Warhol. They had a painting in the back just right here. See, you see the bust of a negress, okay? Then you have her, literally her, well, her part uncovered. Then you have the Negro, okay, the man, and he doesn't have any top too. Then you have these black faces that are everywhere in the paintings. Then you have in the back this cat that is like comme si convoité. He's like, he's lusting after, you know, what he's seeing. And then you have Andy Warhol, and then you have Jean-Michel Basquiat. Okay, so these were like joint artists. And then you have here, Andy Warhol is known for doing the famous photo or image of Marilyn Monroe, the diptychs. And he's really known for pop culture images that we use today. And most people don't know that behind the pop culture images, behind all of these imagery that we see here, these are propaganda. These are messages, hidden messages. And these are literally Babylon in hidden sight. Okay? And in the back, these black figures that we see everywhere, whether it's with a mask, whether it's a projection, these are literal demons. These are the black people they're talking about during the Black Lives Matter in the back, okay? This was taken in New York. So once again, New York, very important place. In 1984, so Andy Warhol and Jean-Michel, their collaboration. Then you have Jean-Michel, who made the New York Times magazine, New Art, New Money, the marketing of an American artist. So see the black figure in the back who looks like a reptilians. They have different names. Then the New Money, so you have Basquiat wearing a costume, and he was known to paint even with his most expensive clothing. And then you have the chair that is upside down. Okay, is it the chair of the black figure? You're wondering. And all these codes, the crown with the 3 heads. Once again, anatomy seems to be a very important topic. Now, why is that? I'll touch on that in that video. So the thing is, Basquiat is not just anyone, okay? Because even today, we still see his painting, his imagery everywhere, okay? In subliminal sometimes, but sometimes in a very evident way. So one example would be with this campaign for Tiffany & Co. And this was with Jay-Z and Beyonce. It was titled Love. Oh yeah, about love. And it was produced and released in 2021. And in the back in this photo, you see there is a painting of Basquiat. Knowledge of the cone. Okay, what does that mean? I don't know. I have no idea. But see the amarite. Then you see an eye. You see the nose. You see the crowns. Then, of course, you see 10 yen. So we're talking about Chinese money, let's say. Chinese, okay. Then, then you see a white face just here in the back, at the bottom. Then you have Beyonce with a mermaid dress. Then Jay-Z is looking at Beyonce sitting with a certain fashion. And it reminds me of this photo of Basquiat sitting, okay? It's not exactly the same, but the vibe is the same. They're both wearing a costume. And we know that the costume was used for the clown, the performance of clowns. Okay. And also they're both wearing all black. Then this photo is a self-portrait of Basquiat. I thought it was interesting to present since we're talking about Black power, being Black, American oxygen. So for those who don't know, Jean-Michel Basquiat is a painter from Haitian and Puerto Rican descent. He was born on December 22nd in 1960 when television was becoming popular in houses. And he died in New York at 27 years old on August 12 in 1988. So just like Rihanna was born in 1988, A$AP Rocky was born in 1988, and Basquiat died in 1988 at 27 years old, which makes him part of the 27 Club. So once again, at 7 years old, Basquiat gets involved in a car accident. So 7 years old, just like Rihanna at 7 years old, who fasted so she can come to New York, while Basquiat at 7 years old was involved in a car accident. So her mother then gifted her a book titled Grey's Anatomy of the Human's Body. And think of this series titled Grey's Anatomy. I think they have like 11 seasons. This thing is never ending. Okay, so alongside with Leonardo da Vinci's anatomical studies and drawings. So Basquiat's grandmother, when he had the accident, she gave her like material, so the Human Anatomy book, and then she gave her the drawings of Leonardo da Vinci's. And also this photo that you see here is a passport photo of Basquiat, since see the face is really important, whether it's in his painting or just as a Black man. Then see here you have the self-portrait, so he looks exactly like the shadows that we saw in the buildings. And this painting was made in 1982, so it's acrylic and crayon, gouache. Then here you also have a painting of Basquiat. So see, you have the eggs, okay, these are eggs. Then you have triangles, the eyes, you have which seems like proton, neutron, I don't know how to call these, scientific symbols. And then here you have also one of his painting that is called Famous 1982. But I just wonder, is that like an official painting of Basquiat? Well, at least it was inspired by Basquiat. Okay, so see here the guitar, what looks like a guitar, famous. And we know famous people are known for their faces. So see here also this black face, the teeth, okay, and this looks like there's an anatomy that is going on inside his body. And he has the three head crown. And that reminded me also of A$AP Rocky at the Met Gala, you know, the colors, which looks like Fruit Loops in some sense. So this is Rihanna wearing Balenciaga once again, styled by Demna. Rocky's wearing Stephen Jones, I believe. And then here you have the black figure that we talked about. So this is like a bowl that you find in the museum. So see here, which looks like a beast, okay? The beast of the sea, just like Apocalypse or Revelation is talking about. Rihanna is in black hood. So it's not, when we say hood, it's not just a fashion, it's way more than that. It's like a lifestyle and identity, since fashion erase identity. Then once again about famous, that reminded me of, okay, no, I don't have it here yet. Okay, so see here this bowl with the beast, the black beast. So this is exactly the beast of the sea. When Jesus came on earth, so he was 100% human, 100% God. So his father was in heaven, and then he used the body of a woman in order to enter the earth. So this is a birthday celebration for her first son that she had. His name is RZA, named after this band, okay, the Wu-Tang Clan. So see money on the table, then you have her pregnant belly. Then the logo of the Wu-Tang is what I want to put emphasis on. So see Maman, this is the little guy. So he has the Wu-Tang shirt, and the Wu-Tang is literally a foal, okay? It's a bird. And this is the reason why Satan is called Prince of Power of Air, okay? So he takes the aspect of a bird, but air, we can think of the radio waves, we can think of television, we can think of the sound, the whole system, the undersea cables, the satellites in the sky, and all these technology that are used in order to do propaganda and have dominion over communication. And also dominion, this word is really important because when God made Adam and Eve, he gave dominion to men to walk over the sea, the fish of the sea, over the fowl of the air, over the serpent of the ground. Men have dominion. But of course, when Satan seduced Eve into sinning, we haven't lost dominion, but it gave Satan dark matter enter the world. So it gave Satan a certain power over us, okay? But of course, now that God died, okay, Jesus died and resurrected, now we have the Holy Spirit, and now we have dominion. We have our dominion back because of the Holy Spirit. But beside the point, so Satan is also known as Prince of Power of Air in the Bible. And Prince of Air, it's not only like air flying, but it's also air, the technology, okay, the communication system in itself. And you know, World War III, okay, the 3 could be seen as a W, but just think about it. World War III, dominion, you have your domain. You know, when you have a website, you say www. Well, the www is a domain in itself. It's just that instead of being a physical, like having dominion physically, it's like having dominion in the air, in the communication system. You have your domain, you have your website. Okay. So here in this photo, you see A$AP Rocky wearing a blue and pink jacket or coat with the team boots. I'll touch on that a little more in the presentation further, but he's wearing the LGBTQ flag because most people don't know, but the LGBTQ flag is not the rainbow flag. It's in actuality, the flag is, I'll show a photo just right here. The LGBTQ flag. It's a pink and a blue flag. There it is. Oh, this is the LGBTQ flag, okay? And this is exactly what A$AP Rocky is wearing right here. But most people don't know, okay? And that's why I made this web series or course that is titled Babylon in Hidden Sites, so I can inform or teach about the symbology behind the imagery that we are consuming on a daily. Okay, so in this photo, okay, so what is interesting, the colors. So A$AP Rocky, he's the one holding the baby. Rihanna is the one flexing. Just like also this Vogue cover where A$AP was in the back, Rihanna in the front. So these are just symbology to tell you that probably A$AP Rocky is a woman and probably that Rihanna is the one leading the relationship. But in imagery, when you just look at the photo, you're like, okay, woman is leading. But when you're going deeper into the image, you realize that, oh, A$AP Rocky is the woman, and then Rihanna is probably, we'll see what she is. Okay, so let's continue. So they had the first birthday. Maman is on the table, and there's a verse that says you can have two masters. It's either you serve Maman or you serve a God. And Maman, what does it represent? Most people attach it to money, but it's also the material world. It's the physical, it's the lust of the eye. It's everything that is physical and that will disappear, okay? Then they have the ritual where he make a wish, and I do have a video on witchcraft. What is witchcraft exactly? And making a wish, it's just a play on word. So the baby is making a wish, and I say the baby with quotes. Then he has the chain, he's wearing the logo, he has a what's so-called like a wave cap or a wig cap, I'm not sure. And RZA, named after the leader of the Wu-Tang Clan. And the Wu-Tang Clan is an American hip-hop group that was founded, once again, in New York in 1992. So it signed to Loud Records, SRC, a Universal Motown, a division of Universal Group. And Universal, for the people who don't know, Universal is the Saturn logo, and Saturn means Satan. So it's really all subliminal in images. So the members of the group, Wu-Tang, were RZA, GZA, Method Man, etc. And what's interesting is that it reminded me of the artist SZA, okay? It's like they have like all the same ways of, it's the same sort of acronym. And also what's interesting with the logo of Wu-Tang, so you have this bright yellow in reference to the sun god. Music of the Sun was the first album of Rihanna. And the foal of the year, sometimes the foal is a phoenix, sometimes it's like a colombe, the dove. Sometimes it's a dragon. It has many forms. And the phoenix, the dragon, all of these full animal are also used in flags, in emblem, like for Egypt. We'll see that further. So in the back, okay, you see this internet logo. So think of www, World War III, internet, okay? So this is exactly what you see in the back. Then these are the Wu-Tang. They're wearing the white tee, very hip hop, you know, reminds me of Soulja Boy, okay? The wave caps. They're on the scene. This was in 1992. They're performing. And once again, see the logo. So it reminds me of that Double O Duck. I don't know if you know the show. It's a anime, and this was DuckTales in 2015. So see the logo here, the fold. So you see then a hand that is holding the globe, okay? And this is exactly what you see here, Wu-Tang and the globe. This is exactly it, okay? Just in another form. And I'll read this. This is from a article online, a fandom page. So for us, it's short for Fiendish Organization for World Larceny. Anyway, or larceny is a global criminal syndicate and terrorist organization bent on domination, so dominion, domination, and profit. The organization is the biggest headache of Sush. A dark-winged duck has several of its agents of his rogue gallery. Full leadership lies in the hands of the shadowy high command. So just like the verse Ephesians 6, we fight not against flesh and blood. A trinity whose identities are carefully kept secret. They run the organization mercilessly in regards to any victims of their schemes as well as their own agents. If their boasts of paycheck outdo their deeds, Foe has expertise and resources in many areas from robotics to the occult and has few hesitation on utilizing any of their schemes. Okay, so I did a video review on Babushka Boy. I think you should go watch it, okay? Scarface and the Globe. And we are talking about Babylon. Well, let's continue. Then these are, once again, the images, the ducks, okay? So this episode, the duck is holding a weather machine, okay? And think of climate change, okay? Think of that. Just keep that in the back of your mind. And I'll read this article. So there's only so much binge watch we can do while sequestered in our homes. And that reminds me of COVID-19 during this national emergency. If we find ourselves still quarantined by next month, never fear, for DuckTales Season 3 debuts April 4 on Disney XD. The epic Season 2 final conclude with the shocking truth that Fiendish Organization for World Larceny, better known as Foe, has been under the heroes' noses all along, plotting in the shadows and now finally ready to strike. And that reminds me of that first image I showed you with the shadows in front of the building, of the City Hall building. That's exactly. So we're just on the first image of that music video. We're on the black silhouettes. Who are they and who are the black people we are talking about? Okay, so then, of course, it was, I think it was available in Looney Tunes, Disney Looney Tunes. Anyway, then you have the black silhouettes again on the TV. So once again, it says, the Foe specialize in big-time world domination, utilizing classic spying methods. The operation is run by 3 shadowy figures known only as High Command. Their identities are never revealed. The middle silhouette of High Command with the prominent fangs had multiple different voice actors. And think of all these AI that we have today. I think AI now is able to reproduce celebrity voices, and I think that should have been an indication that maybe these celebrities don't exist. Maybe these are all technologies in order to sell an illusion, because just like these stories are telling is that these figures are shadowy figures, and shadowy figures as we don't know their identity, or as these are literally demons. Okay, manifesting. Okay, so let's continue. And then this is the connection that I made that was like mind-blowing for me, is the painting of Basquiat and these demons. Okay, so let me read. Oh yeah, so this, I think this was one of the most famous painting of Basquiat, known as a striking New Expressionist piece. And this painting combines acrylic, spray paint, oil stick. Okay, it's a very expressive. It explores themes of identity and power, owned by Yasaku Maezawa. It remains one of his most iconic works. And this figure on TV in the DuckTales. Okay, what does that mean? So let me continue this article. So like most of the planetary destruction threat, like most terrorist organizations, Their goal is total control of the planet through amassing a large wealth of illegal funds. Agents are sent out to rob banks, steal military weapons, and threaten planetary destruction in exchange for a large ransom. And once again, oh my God, this is crazy. So I made this connection with Day Live, this movie that was released in 1988. So once again, 1988. These are the figures that Basquiat were drawing, okay? So for those who don't know this movie, so basically in this movie, it's a worker guy working timberlands, okay, the work boots. And he's working in a field. After work, he found these glasses in a box, like abandoned near the garbage. So he tried one of them, okay? It's like the black shades. And then once he put it, he realized that not everyone is human. When you put it on, you can see through people. And some of the people that he was looking at were not humans. So these were their faces. So these are the people that we call the black faces. So in this movie, so this scene that I captured, it says the Oscar winners gives a press conference on how to buy a sailboat. So these are all subliminals, okay? Okay, so let's continue. So going back to the full, so they're using television. So you see them on television. So the DuckTales 2017 season 3, The Woo. And you know, Rihanna in her album has a song titled Woo. And just want to clear that up. So 1988, Rihanna was born. 1988, A$AP Rocky was born. 1988, Basquiat died. In 1988, the movie They Live came out. 1988. So let's talk about 1988, okay? Because it feels like there is a lot going on in 1988.
It feels so good to be loved by you.
Okay, so I think it's interesting because I've explained this in my course. So the globe is not, the globe is just fiction, okay? The globe does not exist. The earth is not a globe. So I just want to present this map instead, because since we're talking about prints of power of air, so we're talking about the technology of satellites, the internet, the underwater sea, okay? All these communication tools that are controlled by Universal Studio or Bell Telephone, which in reality are Satan's company, okay, in other words. But it's not the point. So I just want to bring the real map, the TO map, okay? We know the controversy with the church, the Catholic Church and Galileo. So since we're talking about the Black Power, I really want to go deep in that, okay? So there's a ceremony that was held in Paris one day before the World War I, okay, when inaugurating the Olympic. And the Olympic logo, you have the 5 rings, which represents the 5 continents. But in reality, the 5 continents is just a European ideal. It's not a physical fact, okay? The physical fact is there is 3 parts. So there's Asia, Europe, and Africa. And of course, these parts were divided among the sons of Noah after the flood. And in the middle, you have Jerusalem. So, well, let me explain this. Asia, in reality, when they say that the land of Shinar, they went to the land of Shinar to build this Babel Tower. Shinar is China, okay, in the translation. So we know that in Asia, you have Babylon, but you also have Jerusalem, which is located in the middle. And we know when the Bible talk about the traveling of Paul, it was in Asia, okay? America didn't exist. America is really just like a land of enchantement. It's just a fiction. It's an ideal. It's like a mindset. It's a lie. The lie of Babylon. So the sun, this is the Orient, okay? Oops, wait. East. Okay, so west is at the bottom here, west. Then this is east where the sun comes up, okay? Then you have here Septentrion, the north. And then here you have the south, okay? And when the land Israel was separated, then you have north and south, okay? So I think I explained this a little more on my course. And then so this map is really a from above, you know, like you're looking from above. And then this is exactly how the earth is made. So there's water above, water below. Then you have the stars just inside the firmament because there's water above, water below. So space as they sold it in television does not exist exactly. And I just want to bring also this perspective is that when you see something on television, you haven't really seen it, okay? It's really an error to say that, oh, I've seen this on television. Yeah, on television, okay? You haven't seen it. If you can see in real life, you can look at something and still be deceived. So imagine through a screen. Just imagine. Okay, so then you have the pit, okay, in the middle of the ocean and the earth, and yes. Okay, so I thought it was interesting to maybe look at 1988 because it seems like there's a lot that went down in 1988. So I went on Wikipedia and I just wrote 1988. So I think they describe it as a big bissextile year, which I don't know what it means exactly, okay? But 1988 is a crucial year for the internet, okay? A year for festival computer virus, the 1988 internet war, okay? World Wide Web, WW3, or Snow World War III. It depends on how you want to see it. So internet, the concept was first discussed in 1988 CERN. So CERN, if you've seen Babylon and Hidden Side, you know this is where the internet began. And you have the statue of Shiva. It's located in Switzerland, okay? And Shiva is the god of destruction. She's also known as Queen Mary, as Athena, the Statue of Liberty, etc., etc. Okay. So the Soviet Union, the Iran. So in January, okay. I'm not going to read all of this, okay? But it's just to bring light on how important 1988 actually is. And I think it was interesting because I think even the birth, they had, yeah, famous birthday, Robert Sheehan, okay? And the question would be, who are these people anyway? The Umbrella Academy, Under My Umbrella, yeah. Skrillex, I don't know. Angelique Kerber, Mike Posner, I don't know. Angel Maria, Maria Walsh, Rihanna, Agnes, Gal Malek. Stephen Curry was born in 1988. Brenda Song. Who's this woman? Elle me dit quelque chose. Sacramento, she made her screen debut. Okay, anyway. Then Jessie Plemons, Laura Lepisto. Okay, nanana. Anna Armas. Black China was born in 1988 too. So here she has the horns. Okay. Sergio Aquanana, Claire Halt, etc., etc. Okay. And the list goes on. All night, even A$AP Rocky, 1988. Candice, Russell Westbrook, Nadia Hiker, Zoe Kravitz, all 19, Vanessa Hudgens, Hayley Williams, etc. Okay, so I'll just conclude this video with a verse, okay? So Ephesians 2:2-4 says, wherein in time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience, among whom also we all had our conversation in times past in lust of our flesh, fulfilling the desires of the flesh and of the mind, and were by nature the children of wrath, even as others. But God, who is rich in mercy, for his great love wherewith he loved us. Okay, so I really hope you enjoyed this video. I'll continue this video because it's a very long one. So this will be dropped in part, okay? And eventually this will become a full, made web series that will be available here on YouTube, at least for now. Okay, well, only if I get a strike or something like that, I'll only have it available for purchase on my website. But other than that, it's available. Share it, and I see you on the next one. Okay.